Daniel chapter 1 verse 9 reads, and now God had brought Daniel into favor and goodwill of a chief of the eunuchs. Right? That's a verse of scripture. You're welcome, my sister. And we've taken 4 keynotes that I've put together in the 3 days we've done so far. Number 1 was we did the definition of what favor is. And we said favor is that which is received either directly or indirectly from God. We could get it from God, or we get it from someone who is standing in the stead of God, right? And it gives us honor, it gives us advantage, it gives us preferential treatment, it differentiates us out for good. It gives us a redemption, as it were, right? And when you talk about redemption, you think about when God asked them the Passover to put the blood stamp upon their doorpost. It was to say, this house is a house of life. Death pass over us, right? And that's what favor works for us, right? The second one would try to define what goodwill is. We said the word goodwill. It's Godwill. It is God's bosom. It is the heart of God. It is God's will concerning his people, right? It is the source, the attitude from which favor flows, right? And we went further yesterday and we started talking about the fact, as we related the fact that God did not just give Daniel favor, but he gave him both favor and goodwill. And we began to relate that with John chapter 4, right? Where Jesus Christ was telling the Samaritan woman that I'm not just going to, when I give you water, it's not going to, it's a water that you will not need to come to the well again, because that water will well in you. I'm going to not just give you water, but I'll give you the source of water. And that's the same thing we say in verse 9. Yeah, God did not just give Daniel favor, but he gave Daniel the source of favor, such that favor will never run out. He doesn't have to get favor today, then start looking for favor tomorrow. God said, I'm not just going to give you favor. I did not just give you favor, but I gave you where favor comes from, right? So it wasn't just a mistake that the Bible used 2 similar words. It says God had given him favor and where favor comes from. So it was supposed to be a favor that will never end, right? And we relate that to John chapter 10, verse 10, right? Where the Bible says that God has given us not just life, but life more abundantly. We related it also to the scripture where the Bible talks about give and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, right? And we talked about the fact that whenever God gives, he gives to show forth his glory, his weightiness. God does not do things in small measure. There's no glory in small measure. When God does something, is in God's size, such that his glory is revealed, that he might take the glory, he might be worshipped by that which he does, right? Today we go on further. We looked at the Hebrew word for favor, which is the word chesed, right? Chesed is spelled C-H-E-C-E-D, but it's pronounced as chesed. It's pronounced as K-H-E-H-S-E-D, chesed, right? And it just means the same thing we've talked about from the English language. It's just that which comes from God to cause a differentiation. Today we go on further and we look at the Hebrew word from which we get the word goodwill. It's the word rakham, right? It's spelled R-A-C-H-A-M, pronounced as R-A-K-H, then A-M, rakham, right? And it pretty much means the same thing we've talked about. So